What is going on, guys? Ryan here from Student Aesthetics, and in today's video I'm going to talk about something that I believe has never been talked about on YouTube, and the reason being is that it's a pretty sensitive and personal subject, and not something you would like to share with other people as a guy. Most people probably would not even share this story with their close friends if it happened to them. But I'm gonna share it today because I think that this story may help other people not having to deal with it, and therefore I feel like it's putting myself down and you know, showing something that happened to me, which is, it's like unmanly, you know. It goes against everything you want to happen as a man in order to help others and make sure that this doesn't happen to you guys. So if you appreciate me doing that, please leave a like, and let's get this video rolling. So the story goes back to a little over a year ago, right before summer 2016. That's when I decided to diet down and get as lean as I possibly could. I was not gonna do a bodybuilding show or a competition, but I was gonna do a photo shoot at the end of my cut. So I dieted down pretty drastically for that photo shoot. And so first of all, my diet, it was, you know, it was doable, was sustainable. Okay, so I would say that I was almost like stage lean. Maybe I could have done a show at the body fat that I was at the end of my cutting phase, and that's also because I did this protocol that you usually do for a show. So I was super lean, and then those were the last 2 weeks is when I did that protocol, and that's when I actually started noticing something that is really messed up and that made me freak out completely, and that I wanted to talk about in today's video. So it all went down in the summer. In the summer I was also dating a girl, and I had amazing sex with that girl. Okay, I'm gonna talk about sex because that's an important topic that I'm gonna have to discuss in this video in order to share the message. Okay, so we were very attracted to each other. She turned me on like completely, like she was hot. And then, you know, like one day, this is when those last 2 weeks of my diet was kicking in, when I was super lean already. She literally didn't turn me on anymore. She did not turn me on that day. We started making out. It was clear that she wanted it, but I don't know, man. I literally didn't feel like it. I would rather like eat food. Like, that's literally how not turned on I was. Like, eventually I got the job done, but I had to force myself to kind of do it. I had to like really focus, and that's when I was like, this is not right. This ain't right. And I didn't directly, you know, connect one to the other, but once I started thinking about what just happened, because that's not something that you want to happen as a guy, and that's something that usually happens. I mean, it was fucking scary. Like, I was literally afraid and scary. I was like, what just happened? Like, and then I started thinking about the logical thing, you know, the diet, because I had heard about it before, but I never kind of realized it or thought about it a little more. So yeah, it was the diet, like very low calories, that made my sex drive drop. That's when I realized that was the case. You know why as well? This is actually ridiculous, but this is what actually happened. So I was on those super low calories, and then one day, during those 2 weeks, I believe it was kind of at the end or something, I had a cheat meal. And when I was eating the cheat meal, I got a boner. This makes me laugh hard always. Like, this is not a joke. Okay, so a hot girl didn't turn me on, but once I started eating dirty foods and a lot of calories in one meal, like fatty meal, like a pizza or something, I got a fucking boner, you know. That's literally your body just being in survival mode. And, you know, like, obviously your body doesn't want to have sex when it's in survival mode. So that's the state my body was in, because I decided to cut down so deeply. Okay, and that's the point where I told myself, what the fuck am I doing? What is this whole dieting thing about? It doesn't matter. This doesn't add anything to my life. This is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. We're all in life where people can deny this or not, because most people don't want to openly talk about sex and stuff, but we're driven by sex. It's literally what drives us as human beings, and that is like it's a fact. It is nature, and it's not something you want to fuck with. That's why I was so afraid when this actually happened. And I was like, hell no, I gotta like quit this diet, and I gotta, you know, eat more again. And so that's what I did, and everything was fine at the end. But the message that I want to share here is, like, it was fucking scary, and it was a crazy founding, because most people don't think about this. Most people don't realize it. I didn't either, because I never really heard people around me saying it, or, you know, even people that did shows, they never really told me. You know, people always talk about energy levels, but they don't talk about how well they get it on in the bedroom. And that is probably because most people don't want to talk about the subject. What I was just saying, because it's like awkward as fuck, and it's kind of putting yourself down as a man. And sure, a story you don't really want to share with people, but that's why I think it's not often discussed, and that's why most people probably don't know about this. The point I'm trying to make is basically just sharing my observation and my experience with this, with getting down to very low % body fat. And with that said, I want to make clear that I do not recommend, and I don't feel like anyone should diet down and walk around at such a low body fat percentage if you're not going to do a show, if you're not going to compete. Because if you're going to compete, you have to accept that something like this may happen. You're gonna have to suck it up, because you want to be the best of the best, and you want to take things to the extreme, which will harm your body. You know, there's no way around it. Competing is unhealthy, whether you do it naturally or with steroids. In both cases it will be, but that is to taking it to an extreme, right? But for the average person that just wants to cut down and look great, please don't do it. Like, don't do it, okay? I've been there, and I know it's not worth it. Next to all of this, you know, this is definitely the biggest issue I had, and the biggest freaking, you know, thing that scared me. But obviously I also lost a lot of strength, lost muscle mass, and that kind of stuff, which is not ideal as well. But you know, and just low energy levels, that is definitely not great either. And that has to do with you being in a survival mode, which is definitely not a state you want to be in. So if you just make sure, like before those 2 weeks, I had no issues at all. You know, so it was really like being in a severe, crazy caloric deficit, going very low in calories, that my body went into survival mode. And that is kind of like the issue that I had. Okay, so it is taking it to the extreme where things like that may happen, and where your sex drive may drop. So it's something that I want you guys to take into account. I don't think it's worth it. I know it's not worth it. And next to that, like, to be honest, I asked a few girls, and girls don't actually like you being at that low % body fat and having veins everywhere. Girls do not like it. They actually like more the kind of like natural look, you know, the more like regular look, beach look, so not too extreme. And that obviously is going to depend on the girl. You know, it's still like everybody is different, but this is just like a general observation, because I asked multiple, and they kind of all said that they more like the normal look. And it's kind of logical. Like, you don't want to be like a really like a try hard. Some girls actually think it's kind of disgusting having like veins popping everywhere, you know, being so crazy ripped. But yeah, I still think the results of the photo shoot were freaking amazing, and I'm still glad I did it now eventually, because I got the best photos ever. And now I've been able to tell a cool story, which, well, it's not a cool story at all. It's really uncool, but I've shared it anyway, and it may help people in the future. So I always like to, you know, look at things from the positive side. So that is the positive side of things. Now, if you personally are unsure of how to lose fat, build muscle, or you want to have some additional help with this to do it properly, because there is so much misinformation out there on the internet, then I'm able to help you out. I wrote my own book, which is called My Shredded Lifestyle, and I offer online coaching as well. So the links are in the description box down below. You can check them out. So again, if you appreciate the realness and transparency, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up. I highly appreciate it. Make sure to put your comments down below and subscribe to the channel. On my channel, I always preach an enjoyable lifestyle, and not being able to have sex, or, you know, not really wanting to have sex, that is obviously not part of an enjoyable lifestyle. I want that to be very clear, and I want to help you guys never be in that situation. Never, ever. And you know, the shittiest thing of all is that you expect to be shredded as fuck so that every girl will want you, and you can, you know, bang every girl, and then you're not able to do that because, you know, you're failing on when it actually goes down. Yeah, that's what a lot of people actually get shredded for. So yeah, just calm down there a little bit and accept the fact that even if you're not, you know, 4% body fat, you can still get laid, and you'll probably get the job done a lot better. So make sure to shoot for around 8 to 10% body fat. You know, just having a nice visible six-pack, etc. That is what I think is the perfect physique, and the physique in which, you know, you're still energetic, and, you know, all the other factors are still on point. So we're gonna wrap up this video here. I hope this helps some of you out, and story time is over. Good night, peeps, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Peace.